Hey guys, we just got the new Turbo Timber Evolution. I haven't been more excited about a small little plane. I love the timber. I've never had one of these. This is the original one that a friend here at the field let us borrow for this video. This is the Turbo Timber. So that's a timber. This is a Turbo Timber, and here's the Turbo Timber Evolution. So since we have all three, we might as well talk about the differences and see what the differences are between them. If you look at this one and this one, they're pretty much the same. The big difference between here is this longer nose on this one, and this one's got a little bit shorter nose, and that's just the turbo, I guess. And the prop is different because the motor's different. This one's got a little bit more powerful of a motor, but pretty much everything else on the plane is the same. If you look at the Turbo Timber Evolution, I think Evolution is deserved. They actually did a lot of good stuff on this plane. One of the things, of course, is now the motor is upgraded even more, and now it's capable of 3S. So we haven't flown these yet. So I want to see what it's going to be like, and I'm actually really excited to fly this plane. But that's the first thing. The second thing is they reinforced it. In the video that we had before, and I could link that, where we did a video when this plane was brand new, and it wasn't that long ago, and this thing's already beat up. But this one, we talked about the weaknesses, and it seems like they took care of them. They took care of, I'd say the majority of the problems, or the not problems, but the weaknesses on this plane. And I think they had no choice, because once you go to 3S power, now it's gonna show those weaknesses.
Now let's keep in mind, for 2S it was great.
I'm not saying it's bad.
No, it was,
no. This is still a great plane, but but now with 3S they had to make it stronger, and so a lot of stuff that we didn't like about this plane they fixed on here. So one of the things in that previous video is I added a spar right here. So it's got a spar going down here already. I added another one over here, and they pretty much did the same thing over here. So they added a second spar in the wing to make it stronger. So for me, that's awesome. The second thing is the tail. So this tail on this one now has an airfoil on it, and I'm sure it's not about airflow, it's more about strength. So this tail is much thicker. This is just sort of like flat and very flimsy. And this one over here is much thicker. It seems to be a lot better.
More rigid.
More rigid. The tail, so the tail surfaces seem to be dimensionally the same. Like everything on it looks dimensionally the same all the way around. The other thing they did, which is awesome, is they changed over to, that servo seems to be stronger and bigger. And now they have an actual ball link on a small plane. That's awesome. So I think it's the same one that they do in the UMX Timber X, and also the Ultrix. So that one's got the same kind of ball links on it, and so they went to that now, which I love. So that's a lot stronger. On this one, to adjust this, now you got to unscrew that, turn it like you do on the bigger planes. On the old Turbo Timber, you had this little wire that you bent in and out. And nothing wrong with that. That works great, and that's a very traditional thing for the smaller planes, is to do that. But this is just a lot better. So it's going to be a lot more rigid. It's going to be a lot more reliable, I'm sure, than what this one is, and
more maneuverable.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. That's the part that we're going to see.
Can't wait.
The thing is well, actually, let me just see. You got a battery in here?
No, just a little camera.
Yeah, you got the camera on there. Weight-wise, it's negligible, it seems, but you do have a camera on it now, but correct. It seems negligible, but this should be a bit heavier. This should fly a hair, I don't know yet, I haven't flown it, but it should fly a little bit heavier. It's got a lot more strength on it. Mm-hmm. But quite honestly, the mods that they did are the ones that I like. Nick, you pointed out earlier when we were taking a look at the difference of this. I see on your wing, you had to fix these.
Yes.
So the hinges over here are foam hinges, and they just reinforce it with a bit of tape. And I think I mentioned that in the last video. That's something I don't like on these small planes, instead of using real hinges. And that looks like yours broke. Was that broken from
multiple flights and
crashes, or
crashes?
Yeah.
And some of it, transportation too.
Yeah. So this one's got the same joint structure.
Yep.
But quite honestly, I get it. It's just these small planes. You know, there's only so much you can do with a small plane and try to keep it light. So the other thing I think in the video I mentioned was the tail, and it looks like it's the same, where the tail surface is actually connected to the rudder and not the main surface on a pivot. So let me just take a look really quick.
Same design as the old one.
It seems to be, but the foam in there is much stronger.
Yes.
So I think it's going to last longer, but that ball link, I love that. I absolutely love that. So I think that's gonna do well. We were also complaining about the landing gear. Ah, Mr. Nick, it looks like yours is starting to go too right here.
Yeah.
So they attached this piece, this piece over here. They attached it with one joint over here that goes to the mount, and the difference is now it looks like it's very similar between this and this, but now they attach it on the front as well as the back. So I have a feeling it won't break off as quite as easily as this one does.
Double support.
Yeah. So besides that, of course, 3S power versus 2S power. The servos are better. It seems like it's going to be a much more reliable design. Everything else looks the same. Like dimensionally wise, I don't think they changed anything.
No.
You know, the only thing is what I really love is elevators are very important. And this is so flimsy. I'll point that versus that. That is, look at that. Here, that thing bends down. Here, everything bends. And it doesn't actually bend down. It actually just rotates. So this is very flimsy compared to this. So I think they did a good job. Don't think they had much choice because they want to go to 3S, which is what everybody wants.
Yep. And to put that power plant in there, you got to make it a lot more rigid on a small plane.
So I have a feeling that this thing is going to be good. Let's look inside and see if there's anything differences in here.
Yep.
It looks very similar. That motor is markedly bigger. Oh yeah, that motor is much bigger. So that's going to be...
It's about twice the size.
You know, that's going to be cool. Yeah.
Look at the links from the rudder and elevator to
I talked about that, the links.
From the inside. They reinforced the
on the inside
compared to the old one, yeah. The new one looks like it's a lot more stronger. It looks like it's a thicker carbon rod that runs through.
Oh, it might be. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, yeah. The other thing is I'm going to say it. I didn't like how they always use that weird connector that was smaller than a balance port for this plane. And we always switch over to JSTs. Now they just made a JST.
Yep.
You know, which is surprising because now I can run my batteries instead of buying their batteries.
Plug and play.
But I like that. I'm actually a big fan. JST is a nice, like, probably not the best connector in the world, but it is so universal that I don't have to like swap over all my connectors over. My Ultrex is switched over to a JST. And any of these small planes, that's what I use. So for me, this is good. Yep. And for the guys who are flying Spectrum batteries, you might have to put an adapter in now, unfortunately. But I think they're trying to go in the direction to make these planes a little bit more, you know, universal. So thank you. Thank you, E-Flite.